Alrighty.
Right.
Welcome to the commentary booth where we watch, and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Apps, and each week I'll be joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a freelance social commentator who lists their favourite movie as American Psycho and favourite TV show as Peaky Blinders. Welcome to the show, Blake Robinson.
Hello, Jamie Apps.
How's life? Watching plenty of the Olympics?
Oh my goodness, isn't it great? I don't know what I'd do right now without it. It's just come at the perfect time.
Yeah, well, we can't go anywhere else, so at least there's plenty of sport on
Um,
telly.
yeah, well, we nearly lost footy this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. All of the
Seeing that
Australian sports
slip
just.
away from me. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what would have done without it, without the Olympics. Yeah, I'm loving it.
The only thing I'm not enjoying about it is the Channel 7. Like, if you watch it on
It's
the apps, it's fine.
contentious.
But if you're watching it
Yeah.
on the actual free to air TV, it's pretty chaotic.
Yeah, I don't know. They just can't get it right, can they? Like,
Uh,
you need to watch the main channel because the Australian commentary is good, but they just flip around and they don't put the right things on, and they're just trying to please the average household.
yeah,
It's not doing it for me.
I get that they're trying to be as broad with their coverage as possible and please as many people as
Yeah,
possible, but
that's
it's
all it
also
is.
makes it hard to watch a game of the Matildas or um the Boomers when they're constantly
Yeah, the
like,
boomers is
oh,
a
now we're going to
big
quickly
one.
switch over to this swimming for 2 seconds and then come back and
Yeah, but it's like the mornings swimming replays.
hmm
Like they're just catching people up mid mid live game. Like, what are you doing?
yeah,
Yeah, I just admit defeat and go straight to the app now. Save disappointment.
yeah. At least then you know you.
App's good, but it's good setup. I'm pretty impressed with it.
Oh
If you,
yeah, when
especially if you got if you got 7 plus on your TV, it's sick.
yeah you just pick the sport you want to
Yeah,
watch and you're
just pick
set.
whatever you want. Yeah, it's good.
But yeah,
Yeah, but
I
you
noticed
only have to
this
wait
morning
3
there
years to go
was
to the next one.
yeah that's gonna be like I keep saying
That's the best part about it.
this is gonna be a trivia question in like 10 or 15 years.
Oh, for
What year were
sure.
the
Yeah.
Tokyo Olympics? And everyone's gonna be like, oh, 2020. Nope.
I reckon a lot of people haven't even blinked at like all the signage and everything. It's like still 2020.
Yeah, they're still
That people
branding
are
it
just
as
like, oh,
Tokyo
yeah, yeah,
2020.
yeah, but everyone's probably just like, oh yeah, that's the year. Then no one's like, hang on, isn't it 2021?
Yeah, it doesn't feel like we've gone a whole year.
There was something else. There was something else on recently too that was 20. Oh, the Euros. Euros is still 2020.
Oh my, okay, yep,
Yeah, it was on what last month.
yeah, it is
I
pretty
suppose
funny
they
that they're doing that.
spend too much money on branding and signage and whatnot and to change the year. I know that was a big thing for the Olympics. There was always going to be Tokyo 2020 no matter what because they just printed all the medals and did everything. They couldn't change everything. So it
Oh
cost too
yeah,
much
because they
money.
would have had all the medals made, and you,
They had everything done and they're like, yeah, this is just going to cost too much money to change it to
yep,
Tokyo 2021.
yeah, like the signage and stuff might have been okay, but if they had them all made already, it's a bit. Oh well, I guess we're just
So
dealing with
there'd be
this.
big sought after medals this year. There'd be a unique one in 50 years' time.
Yep.
I don't know. Wonder if anything's like that. Sure, there's during the war or something. The Olympics were on at a different year. Sure, it's happened before.
I think they were cancelled in during World War Two, maybe, but I don't know. They've been pretty
Yeah, who
consistent.
knows?
Like,
They don't miss a beat. I was actually thinking the other day, when is the Olympics going to be phased out? It's got to be. It will happen, surely. Wonder if it would happen in our lifetime.
I reckon the Olympics will stay. I think the Com Games can go.
Yeah,
We don't need the Commonwealth Games in between that are just
yeah,
a
that's a weird one. That's
Australia and
losing appeal.
England pissing match.
I actually thought this year the Olympics might not be that good or have the same appeal, but it's definitely kicked in a gear. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, I thought the athletes would struggle given that
Yeah,
extra.
especially especially like a lot of the athletes pulled out. Well, it was really only professional athletes, eh? Like
Yeah,
all the
anyone that like the Olympics is the pinnacle of their
anyone
sport,
who
they're
normally,
still
yeah,
gung
and
ho
which
for
has
it.
made it good. Yeah, I've been loving it. I don't want it to end.
Yeah, there's only this week left, is it? Bit over, because they only go for
Yeah, I
like a
think it
couple of
ends
weeks.
this week. Because
Yay!
yeah,
And then we get 2 or 3 weeks of lockdown with no Olympics. Yay! What are we gonna do then?
it's gonna be grim times. Let me assure you. I'm used to it now anyway.
Yep.
It's only yeah, I know it was pretty. Everyone was just in routine anyway. As soon as it kicked in, otherwise, like 12 months ago, it was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, this time around it's kind of like, oh well, I guess we're back to
So
doing this
yeah,
thing again.
yeah, straight back into it.
Everyone's used
But
to working from home, doing Zoom parties and whatever.
for the first time, I've actually been frustrated that I can't go to the movies. There's a couple of good little ones out at the moment that can't stream or anything.
Yeah. What ones have you been hanging out to
You
see?
know that old
Oh, yep,
movie,
the
old
the M Night Shyamalan one.
M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah, I want to see that.
creator of the great Hereditary. Yeah, it looks real good. It's got absolutely rubbish reviews.
Yeah, I've been
I don't
seeing a lot of really
I
mixed
don't really
reviews.
care for other people's reviews, funnily enough. But yeah, the trailer looks promising, and his previous two movies are outstanding.
Yeah, his movies are very reliant on a good twist, though. That's the big
They're
issue.
particular,
Like if the
very
twist is a
particular.
dud, it's kind of like, well, that sucked.
Yeah,
Signs is probably my favorite one.
yeah.
Did you end
He's
up seeing Space Jam: A New Legacy?
hell yeah. I've seen Space Jam: New Legacy.
What do you think?
Geez, where to start? I, on a surface level, enjoyed it. It was entertaining,
Yep.
but it was a weird one, eh? It definitely shouldn't be called Space Jam 2 because it wasn't a sequel at all.
No,
It
it's
was
just using the same
dead set
concept.
remake. It was the exact same storyline, like almost the exact same storyline. Yeah, same concept, just a remake. Um, definitely I don't know, it didn't really feel like a movie
It felt
at
like a
all.
giant ad for Warner Brothers.
Bro, yeah, that and like a feature-length Nike advertisement.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a bit of a flex. Um, yeah, as well. I reckon I enjoyed it heaps because I'm a big NBA fan. But I reckon if you weren't really into basketball, didn't know much about it, like you wouldn't have really enjoyed it as much. Whereas Space Jam 1, the original, like anyone, young or old, can enjoy that. Sit down and watch Space Jam and they'd love it.
Oh yeah, even
Whereas,
like,
I don't know, the new one's a huge like flex on NBA, I think.
and just like the music in that original makes it so much more enjoyable as well. Like this one
Iconic,
didn't
bro.
really have any iconic songs where I was like, yeah, this one's a jam. I need to like listen to this song outside of this movie.
Yeah, it just felt very like rushed and like pushed to have LeBron in a movie.
Yep. Did you realize
Like,
that
didn't feel natural.
they've been working on this sequel, as they call it, since like the original came out?
Oh, really?
So
I
they
know they've been.
like they've been wanting to make a
I don't know
sequel.
how long they've actually been working on it for.
Yeah, they've been wanting to make it since the original came out, but then Michael Jordan turned it down. So that threw the giant
Yeah,
spanner
right.
in the works. So then they sort of looked at, oh, maybe we could get another athlete. So they looked at Tiger Woods, they looked at Tony Hawk as options. And
Tony would be sick.
yeah, even like a golf one would have been cool. Like a
Yeah,
Tiger
well,
Woods one when he was at the peak, Tiger
well,
Woods would have been awesome.
yeah, and especially that would have been like a good sort of smooth transition into a sequel too, because the original's like has heaps of golf in it.
Yeah, and then yeah, that
Because that's essentially what it's about. Like Michael Jordan's golfing,
yep, and then
and he
they all
falls
sort of
down, like it goes down the hole.
those
Yeah, it would have
athletes
been heaps good.
those athletes fell through, and eventually in 2014, LeBron was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." I was like, "I like it,
I
but
wonder what he got paid.
he's
I
just
haven't looked.
asking to be compared to Michael Jordan now, isn't he?"
Yeah, and this have you seen all everyone going on about the stats in the games, like in the two movies? Like Jordan had these like this ridiculous stat line in the original movie, whereas LeBron had this very modest stat line in the sequel.
Yeah.
The gameplay was weird though, I thought. It just all the CGI didn't really make it feel like basketball. It was a bit far-fetched.
Yeah, I think it was meant to feel kind of like NBA Jam, that game.
Yeah.
And
Um, it was cool though, the big shout out to all the other Warner Brothers films in it. I thought that was cool.
oh, so many too. Like I was
It
looking
was
through it, and
crazy.
there's Rick and Morty, Game of Thrones, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The
Harry
Matrix,
Potter.
Harry Potter, Iron Giant,
Yeah, The
The
Matrix.
Mask, Wizard of Oz, Casablanca, A Clockwork Orange, Mad Max Fury Road, The Exorcist, Pennywise from It, Beetlejuice,
Yeah.
RoboCop, The Jetsons, Scooby Doo, The Flintstones, The Sopranos, Lord of the Rings, and that's just the ones that like immediately jumped out at me. Like there's way,
Jeez,
way more.
you picked up heaps more than me.
Like it was insane. I was like,
On that
I didn't
on
realize
that as
Warner Brothers
well.
owned that much.
Yeah, either. And like heaps I just completely forgot about too. I thought like they were all because they were all like crowd around watching the game at the end. Would have been good if I reckon if they like chuck some of those Warner Brothers characters in the actual basketball game.
That's what I was
It would have
thinking.
been
Like I
cool.
get that it's
Instead of like that, or they
the
had like
Toon
NBA
Squad.
players and yeah, the Toon Squad.
It would have been cool if they mixed in like right now
Yeah,
we've
just had
got
like a
Jon
bench.
Snow from Game of Thrones on Jordan's team and Harry Potter and stuff like that. It would have
Yeah,
been
it,
cool that
it
it
would have
wasn't
been
just
sick.
tunes.
Yeah. It was pretty cool though, like the NBA player aspect,
Yeah, what
I
did you think
guess.
of the choices? Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, Clay Thompson.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stuff this name up. Nanika
Yeah,
Ogwumki
the
and Diana Taurasi.
WNBA player. Um, yeah, I knew everyone who was going to be in it because obviously I've watched like behind the scenes stuff of them filming it. But yeah, I don't know. Clay was interesting, but they were like, hardly in it. It was like Clay was in it for like one clip. I swear he wasn't even in the game. Like, was he? Like there was a.
He
I
was in
remember
it. Yeah, he
one
like got
scene.
subbed in, and then they brought Lillard in place of him.
Yeah, but it's like the actual players weren't even in it. Anyway, it's like the
No, it was the digitized
shooting
versions.
squad version.
Dame
But
Lillard
it
got
was
a
pretty
lot
heavy.
of time,
Yeah, he did actually.
which was cool.
Unfortunately, I don't. Big fan.
And then the other thing that I thought was pretty funny was when they had Michael B. Jordan show up.
Oh, yeah, I was just about to mention that. That was funny.
That was the best cameo
I
they could have got.
laughed,
That was great.
bro. I laughed way too much of that.
I think
There's
that was
actually a lot
the
of
funniest part of the movie for me. That definitely made me laugh the
yeah,
most.
it's definitely. So I was like, oh, they didn't. But there's actually some pretty good jokes in there, like some savage LeBron jokes. Like I don't know how much he had to do with the writing of the movie, or like he would have read over a script, but just like leaving Cleveland and Miami jokes and
Building a super
that's
team.
yeah, building and all that. It was I was like, oh, every time. But there's a few of them. I was like, this is funny. That's like another thing too. Like if you weren't an NBA fan,
And I love the
you
like
sort of
the
you sort of wouldn't enjoy it
recreation,
as much.
the recreation of the iconic Miami photo with LeBron and Wade.
Oh yeah, that
That was
was
cool.
cool as well. That's what I mean. I wonder how much or who close to LeBron was in the writing process.
Yeah, like there was a lot of cool references in there if you sort of follow LeBron,
If you knew
follow
it,
the
yeah.
NBA, but overall, pretty basic movie. Like definitely targeted to
Yeah,
kids.
yeah, but definitely watch it if you're an NBA fan. But it's got nothing on the original, and it never will.
No,
That can't be topped.
if
But
you're
yeah,
a
it's not realistic. It's just like a cheap. You can almost call it try hard remake.
yeah, like if you're just purely watching it because you're a fan of the original Space Jam, you're probably not going to enjoy it
You'll
as
be
much
heaps
as
disappointed.
if you're an NBA fan.
Yeah. I'll definitely watch it again though. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, like once it hits
Yes,
like a Netflix or something, I'll probably watch
yeah,
it
for
one
sure.
weekend.
But
Like,
definitely be firing it back up. It was cool to watch. I liked LeBron wearing number six too. That was a cool little touch.
yep. Um, what else have you been checking out?
Man, I've been watching heaps, hey. Um, actually, low key, you know that movie, what was it called? Good Boys? Seth
Oh,
Rogen
yep,
did it. Have you seen it?
yeah.
It's
I
been
got to
out for a
see it
while.
when it first came out.
Yeah, yeah. I remember watching that scene in the trailer when I went to the cinemas. It was proper funny,
It
eh?
is a very funny movie.
That's um, just
Seeing little
very rude,
kids,
very naughty.
seeing little kids swear is
I,
always amusing.
Oh, yeah, it's all the time. I always, and when they like talk about stuff that you probably wouldn't expect them to talk about in a movie, like I'm like, geez, do they like explain it to them, or they just get them to like, here, read this and say
Read
this.
this without any context.
Yeah, say this, don't ask questions.
Get mum and dad to
But yeah,
sign
watch
off on
that.
the script.
Yeah. I've been watching a heap of random stuff. Stumbled across a movie called Believe Me. Do you know much about it?
Is that
It's
the
about
Netflix one?
it's about it is it on Netflix? It's on something. But so it's based on the abduction of Lisa McVeigh. It was like in the 1980s, this young girl who got kidnapped and went missing for a few days, and she was just being kept as like a sex slave for this bloke. And anyway, when she ran away, like he let her go, and she went to the police, and they didn't really want to have anything to do with her. They didn't believe her because she like remembered so many details of like the kidnapping, and they're like, she's making this up. Like, how can she remember so many like small little details about this?
Oh,
And
like
the
she was
cops had
too
like
detailed in her recollections that they
too
were like,
detailed, like
no, this can't be right.
yeah, like she was counting how many stairs she walked up, like when she was blindfolded, like just like how many right turns and whatever in the car, like little stuff like that. Yeah,
So
she went
like
to the
stuff that they
cops and
would
they
actually
like,
tell you to remember if you could.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, the police had too much on the little small town police department had a bit much on their plate. They were like investigating this serial killer that had killed like six prostitutes or whatever. So they're like, the last thing they wanted to deal with was this girl. But then, so no one was believing her. Then finally, she found one officer that like sat down and was like, "Yeah, hey, I believe you." Then, ended up big breakthrough. So it goes off that.
Wow.
Very, yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I think my
Um,
mum watched it when it first came out, and I caught glimpses of it while she was watching it, but I haven't sat down to watch the whole thing.
yeah, I've sort of, I think it's been out for a while. Um, yeah, actually, this bloke, so Bobby Joe Long was his name. He actually murdered 10 people. Yeah, and so yeah, and ended up this girl ended up solving this like serial killer um crime that they've been trying to for years.
Wow. So like you reckon worth a watch?
Yeah, it's cool. It didn't even but yeah, definitely it was a good one. It wasn't really that lengthy and that boring either. It was a heart racer, as you could call it.
Okay. I will probably check that out when I get a chance. I've got so much on my list at the moment, like that needs to be watched.
Yeah,
So
I know.
it'll
Mine's just all old stuff that I haven't got around to watching. That always happens with me
Yep. Yeah, a lot of mine is
because
pretty new
I
stuff.
always rewatch have a habit of rewatching stuff I already like and watch. But there's yeah, like I said, it's heaps out at the moment. I just need stuff to come onto the streaming services.
Yep. Speaking of stuff coming onto streaming services very soon, I can talk about something now, but I have to just pause our Twitch stream because it's under embargo until we release the episode. So let me just do that.
Wow.
So the other show on Stan that I've been watching was the show called Doctor Death. Have you seen that one pop up?
I yes, I want to watch it. I was yeah, I watched the trailer before it came out. I was like, this looks good. Um, Alec Baldwin, yeah,
Yeah, so Alec Baldwin plays one of the doctors that tries to expose the wrongdoings of another doctor called
yeah,
Christopher Dunch, who's played by Joshua Jackson, who most people would know from The Mighty Ducks, Charlie Conway,
yeah.
and also in Dawson's Creek.
Is
And
it real story? Eh?
hang on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so it's a true story. It's based off the podcast of the same name, Doctor Death, and it's all about
Yeah, it was based on a potty.
it's all about Doctor Christopher Dunch, who was a real life neurosurgeon who either maimed or killed a bunch of his patients. And like doing spinal surgery, they were pretty bad mistakes
Yeah,
that he was making. So the patients were paralyzed. A bunch of patients died. A couple of them had like gauze left around their spine, so they got real bad infections and just horrible stuff. And so the show sort of follows how he got into the position that he was in, and Alec Baldwin and Christian Slater are the two doctors that discover like this guy's either really bad at his job or he's doing this on purpose and hurting people on purpose.
he definitely looks like a psycho.
Yeah,
The real life version.
Joshua Jackson plays a great version of him too. Like he comes off as this
Yeah.
super arrogant, know-it-all, like I can do whatever I want type person.
How's Alex Baldwin go?
He's awesome. Like yeah,
Alex
he
Baldwin.
like slips into the role. You just think, oh yeah, this is just a really well-regarded doctor that knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And the surgery scenes they're like gruesome, but like not overly graphic. Like just they don't like they'll focus more on the doctor himself, and you just see like the force he's putting into the procedures that he's doing on people's spines and stuff. You're like, no, don't do that. Like, I'd never want to see someone using a hammer and like wailing into someone's spine. Like,
Man, hammers in surgery just never really sit right for me, eh? Like you see in movies and stuff, they're like a chisel and a hammer. Like, what are you doing?
yeah, like
And then it's hitting a person's body. Like, what are you hitting?
yeah,
Why are you doing that?
doing that on someone's knee or leg. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that sucks. That's gonna hurt. But when the guy's doing it on someone's spine, I'm like, no, that's just asking for trouble right there.
Yeah, I wonder how much I always think with like movies like this or shows and movies like this, how much like actual training the actors get in that field.
Yeah, I know in
But because you got to be somewhat knowledgeable, like you got to make it look like you know what you to play the character. You know, make it look like you know what you're doing, talking about.
yeah, I know in ER and Grey's Anatomy they always had doctors
Yeah,
on
that's a
set
big one.
to
Yeah,
like
show people.
direct the actors in like, right, you got to do this and do it in this way so it looks correct. I know in like some detective shows as well, they'll have like an actual police officer or detective on set to make sure that proper procedures are being followed on crime scenes. So
Some
think
actors just fit the role so well, eh? Like especially for police, you'd almost come off set and out of character. Like, whoa, hang on, am I a cop or not?
yeah, yeah, I think shows are getting a lot better at that too. Like they'll actually just pay someone that does the job to come onto set and just be there to
Yeah.
pull them up if something's going wrong. Like people realize that if it doesn't feel right, people are going to notice straight away, and it's going to pull them out of the moment.
I remember hearing an interview when I Kill Bill, like how much like actual kung fu training Uma Thurman did.
Yep,
Like it was extensive.
it's
Like
like
would need to be for those films.
even Tom Cruise, like the amount of training he does for all the Mission Impossibles and every movie he does is crazy.
Yeah,
Like
there's
he
a
always
lot
wants
of
to do
roles
his
like that
own
where
stunts, and half the time the only reason he doesn't get to do them is because the insurance is like, no, we're not letting you ride on the top of a train.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a couple of examples, but of how like actors have played such a prominent and demanding roles like that, where they have to do the train, they end up being a hobby for them, like outside of the character, like in real life. Well, I think actually Tom Cruise's pilot, he's a qualified pilot, I think,
Yep.
and that came about from like Top Gun days. So and I think he's done a few different films I've seen where he's actually flying.
Yeah, I think Keanu
Since then,
Reeves has like a black belt as well now.
yeah, huge
Like that's cool.
from the Matrix.
So on Doctor
Yeah, so
Death, like my biggest issue with the show though was it constantly jumps back and forward in the timeline. So like one moment it'll be during the
yeah, it's
investigation, and then it'll
confusing.
go all the way back to like the beginning of this doctor's career, and it doesn't
Yeah,
make it super obvious, like because it's only like 10 years. Like the fashion doesn't change a whole amount,
yeah.
so it's a little bit hard to follow because it does that. I think it would have been a better show if it had just been a straightforward chronological telling of how it all went down.
Have you finished it?
Yep.
Oh, is it? So how much is it out at the moment?
The whole lot. I think
Oh,
it's
they,
eight
what, just the season?
episodes. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Is it going to go further?
No, I don't think so. They might do like,
Oh, so it just shows like the from start to finish of his career sort of thing.
yeah, and then yeah, his conviction and everything. I think like if they do a sequel, it'll be similar theme but with a different doctor.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, it's definitely one I want to watch. Yeah, I've seen the trailer before it came out. I was like, yeah, this looks sick.
Oh yeah, I definitely think this one is worth a
Yeah,
watch.
recommend.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't got much better else to do.
Yep. Once the Olympics finishes, there you go. Doctor Death straight into it.
Yeah,
That'll get you through.
man. And I need to watch more Sopranos too.
Yeah. How far into it are you?
I'm nearly finished the second season.
Okay, so you're
So,
quite a bit further than me. I'm about
yeah,
halfway through the first season.
yeah, I'm chipping away.
Yeah, we haven't
It's
been doing like long binge
it's
watches.
already
We've just been watching like an episode
yeah,
here and
yeah. I
there.
watched like an episode and a half a night, but yeah, I'm consumed. I'm sold.
Yeah, even like
That's
from halfway
I've
through
been
this first
getting
season, I'm enjoying what I've watched so far. It's definitely a slow
yeah,
build to introduce the characters in the
yeah,
first season.
the first season is it's really sort of you try to work out what's going on a lot too. Even like, nearly finished the second season. I'm not even like used to all the characters yet. There's still people. There's a lot of people to try remember and know their roles.
Yeah, and this first
Like
season, like, it's introducing all the characters and it's building the tension without there being heaps of sort of action and stuff happening. It's just kind of like,
there seems to be a lot happening, but a lot of like not important stuff that you need to know about. But you're still wondering like, gee, like? It starts off pretty like with a not with a bang, but like it's in depth straight away.
yeah, like obviously the mafia is like well established, and I think this first season is trying to introduce here are all the characters and here's where they sit in the hierarchy type thing, and then
Yeah.
all the outside characters like his wife and the doctor and his mum. His mum's a very interesting woman.
Oh, she I'm trying to think where you'd be up to and where I'm up to, but yeah, second set she's pretty annoying. But the relationship between his mum, Tony, and his mum like evolves a lot in the second season, and his sister comes into it as well.
Okay.
And is your sister in it yet? Like, have you seen her?
No, I haven't.
Tony's, yeah. So she throws a bit of a spinner in the works too.
Yeah,
And
Tony's definitely the most compelling of the characters. Like he's
oh,
just like
is he?
there's so many levels to him.
Yeah, yeah, the hot levels or like layers. He's like an onion, I reckon.
Yep, yeah, because he's just like
But
trying to be tough, but then he's also struggling with anxiety and panic
he's got
attacks,
heaps
and
going on.
the kids are driving him
I'm
up the
so
wall.
curious to see where it goes.
I,
But
I'm,
yeah, it's a massive slogan on it. How long did it go for? It went for like 15 years, didn't it? The show did it?
I'm not
It
sure.
went for a very long
I
time.
think it's, yeah, like 8 or 9 seasons. Like, it's pretty
That's
long.
another one. Yeah. I fully didn't realize at first that it was actually because it got released in the 90s. I didn't realize it was actually set like present time when it came out.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
has this
It's
big
not
like
like it's not set in the
early 80s
60s or
vibes
70s or
about it.
anything.
Yeah, it has a big vibe like that about it.
I
Oh, no, so it came out in 1999 and it finished in 2007. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
gonna be
So
interesting
eight
to
seasons.
see the
The
like the
transition.
last season. Yeah, like the
I
what do you
wonder if
call
they.
it? The times.
I wonder if 9/11's mentioned.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
not.
surely. I don't actually want to look it up and spoil it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, because it's set in New Jersey. But they don't really have much to do with New York, do they? They really just hang around Jersey.
Yep.
Well, so far from what I've seen.
Yeah. The episode I just watched was when his son just finds out that his dad is in the mafia, not in waste management. Like, you're an idiot, kid.
Waste waste management. Yeah, he starts being a bit naughty, the old son,
When he
in the
realizes
second season.
that dad's a criminal, I'm going to be a criminal.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But
I think my
I
favorite
reckon come out.
aspect of the show is how it's all framed around Tony's mental and emotional turmoil with his family, with the business side of everything. Like,
He's
he's just
just
a,
a
a high strung
poor bugger
individual.
that's got a yeah, he's very high strung. Yeah, it's like I like the flashbacks with the um psychic sessions. Psychic
The
is
psychiatrist.
it psychiatrist. Yeah, yeah, like how it always flashes back to that, and so like everything else is like from his perspective or point of view in the show.
Yep. Like,
But I wonder how long that's going to go on for, because I thought the whole show was meant to be based around those like set
his sessions.
appointments.
Yeah.
Yeah, sessions. But like because then his psychiatrist she starts playing rearing ahead a bit and starts playing a bit of a role
Okay.
outside of those sessions.
Yep.
So you probably aren't up to that yet.
No. Um, Knowing how it ends, like, I've heard everyone talk about how it's the worst ending in television. I'm like, kind of dreading getting to that point though.
I haven't. See, I don't know. I haven't. I've sort of just kept away from it all these years and haven't really looked into it too much.
Okay, I won't say anything
Like
because
I've always so yeah, I don't know. I've
I know
always
it's been touted as
or
the
maybe I
worst.
do know. Maybe I do know. Sure, would I know? I would surely know, eh?
I think you would. It's
Maybe I've
referenced
looked it
in a
up
lot of
before.
stuff.
Yeah, that's got me heaps keen to finish it now.
It's just, yeah, it's constantly touted as having the worst ending in television. I'm like, oh, that's. I think that's what's always put me off about starting it.
All the thing that's put me off is starting a 6 season show from
Yep.
the start. That's why I've never watched it. Like I've always wanted. Like it's right up my alley. Like I love The Godfather. I love Casino,
Yeah, no,
Goodfellas.
it sounds like you're hooked on it now
It's
though.
just like, yeah. Oh, I am, bro. Yeah, I'm loving it. I just want to get through it. But yeah, I've had mates telling me for years to watch, and they've all like, this is the best show ever made.
Yeah, shout out
Haven't gotten to a best show ever made status yet, but it's definitely starting to heat up and get good.
Pitcho for that one.
Shout out Pitcho for that one.
I
But yeah, the
constantly see
reason
him just being
obviously
like, "You need to watch this." I'm like, "Oh Jesus."
yeah, he's big advocate. But yeah, the main one of the reason I really keep myself in gear is because the many saints of Newark the sequel movie coming out in what, September,
Yeah,
October?
yeah. So we got to try and get through 8
Oh, it's
seasons
not really, it's
before
not a
then.
sequel, is it? It's a prequel. Sorry.
Prequel, yeah. So we've got to get through
So it's
8
about
seasons
Tony
to then.
Sopranos. Eight says 6 seasons, I think.
Is it?
Hmm.
There's a lot. I know that much. So we've got to get through all of those
I'm confident.
before the film.
I'm confident. I wonder if it's gonna you're gonna need to watch all of it. Probably.
Yeah, that's the
See,
hard part with a
wonder where
prequel.
I wonder where the film's gonna finish up at the end of the film. Wonder if it'll follow on from Sopranos. It looks really good, really well made though.
Yeah, it looks like it could
The
be
movie.
sort of Godfather level type show, movie.
Who's it directed by? Alan Taylor.
No idea who that is.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
Uh,
there's a, it's taking a lot on his plate to do that.
yeah, there's a lot of pressure on that movie.
Oh man, this is yeah.
That's like doing.
The cool thing about it too is Gandolfini's son, actual real life son, plays Tony in the movie.
That's cool. It's like
Yeah,
in Straight Outta Compton where they had the son playing the
yeah,
character.
yeah, exactly. So that's a cool little aspect.
So that I think the only thing that's going to stop you finishing Sopranos in time for the movie is going to be your new obsession, the Gossip Girl reboot.
Bro, I'm loving it. Disclaimer, I never watched the original Gossip Girl because that
Oh,
was yeah, controversy. Um, because I was always a massive Hills fan, and that was out at the same sort of time as the Hills. So teenage Blake only had enough attention for one girly drama series, and that was the Hills. But yeah, I'll probably go back and watch the original Gossip Girl after watching the reboot. It's been drip faded out on what do I watch it on? I think it's
binge.
on HBO. Binge?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it on Foxtel Go, so whatever.
So
Um,
yeah,
I
what you're
think we're
saying is
four episodes.
the reboot has got you interested in going back to watch the original.
Yeah, and like it's not a sequel, so it doesn't follow on. It's like just redone again. No, it's like yeah, reboot. That's what it is. That's what
Yeah,
it's
so it's
called.
like the same sort of
It's redone
style, but
again
a
in the
whole different cast.
current times. Yeah, different cast, same vibe. So there's in the original one, there's like a gossip blogger, which is very early 2000s. And in the new one, it's like an Instagram account.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's yeah, it keeps you interested in that aspect. But yeah, it's all like same like set on the Upper East Side of New York City, privileged like kids, high school kids. Um yeah, so we're 4 episodes in now, and I think there's only one season. There probably will only be one season. But yeah, I don't want it to end. I'm loving it.
I'm assuming you're loving all the fashion as well.
Yeah, it's honestly not even that big focus on fashion. It's a
Oh,
weird one. Like majority of the time they're in school uniform.
is it like a private school?
Yeah, private school.
Okay, that explains.
Very privileged and powerful private school where the kids can sort of get away with whatever. There's a lot of underage drinking. It's like I keep questioning like, hang on, how old are these kids?
Because they're drinking so
Because they're
much.
like, and in the recent episode there was a 15th birthday, so that confirms that.
That's
Which
very
is
underage
pretty
in the US.
yeah. And yeah, one thing that really got
That's
me
what a
like keen to
12-year-old
watch
here
it
in
was
Australia.
yeah, well, even 15 young in Australia, bro. It's pretty good 15. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if they're 15, that's 6 years under the drinking age, so that'd be the equivalent of a 12-year-old here.
Yeah, but I don't know, these kids, their parents got a lot of money and power. They can do what they want in this show by
Yep.
the looks of it. But it's made me want to go back and watch the original, which I will at the end of this. I did read up though before I started watching it, what if I needed to watch the original first.
Yep.
but it's just a reboot. But there is, I've noticed and I've learnt, little cheeky cameos and shout outs to the original
Okay,
that
so there's
fans of the original Gossip Girl would like froth and like love the little
little
drip
Easter eggs
feeding,
and things to find.
yeah, Easter eggs.
Right.
So there's that aspect, which I don't have the privilege of enjoying. But yeah, without, if you're just fresh and want to watch it, very, very good. One of the reasons I wanted to start watching it was one of the actors in it, Evan Mock. He's actually a pro skater,
Oh wow.
and caught my attention. Yeah, he actually walked on one of Virgil Abloh's Louis Vuitton fashion shows a couple years ago.
Okay.
So like Virgil's like big into skating, and he just like pretty much picked this guy up and said, "Hey, walk in my show," without any experience. So he did that, and like from that show, he just started getting a heap of modeling gigs, and now he's in Gossip Girl.
Fair enough.
He's like, yeah, great, plays a great character. So this closeted, he's got a girlfriend, but he sort of doesn't know if he's gay or not.
Okay. So do I need to
Yes,
change your
a lot
intro
in the
now
show
to
is like,
Blake Robinson XOXO?
man, I could honestly start a Gossip Girl for my workplace.
Jesus. I'm sure
It's
that'd go
like
down
that.
well.
But yeah, I do remember back in high school when Gossip Girl was out, there was a lot of mocking accounts, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Dapto High Gossip Girl.
God, I'm sure there was plenty to gossip about.
Drama. Drama and scandal. But yeah, that's got it comes out. So yeah, every episode every Thursday. I don't mind it. I don't mind it as much as it keeps you on edge and waiting around for a new episode. I like the episode a week vibe. It gives you something to look forward to. Instead of just like binging on something. Like you appreciate a lot more.
Yep. And especially at the end of the
So
week,
when
it's a
you're like
nice one to
hours up, you're like, oh yeah,
like
it's
a nice one to be like, okay, that's coming at the end of the week. I can watch that, and I know it's the weekend. I can chill now.
what was another one we had like that? Mosquito Coast.
Mm-hmm.
That was weekly, eh?
Yeah, and
That
I'm
was a good one.
I'm dealing with it now
Apple,
with
what's Apple?
Ted Lasso as well.
Ah, yes, new season's out, eh?
Yep, so
It's
good.
really started to get attention, eh? I've noticed. I still haven't seen it, but I think I'm gonna have to sooner or
Oh,
later.
totally watch it. Like, you're a big football fan,
Yeah.
so you'll get all
Um,
the references to the EPL and stuff like that,
yeah,
and yeah, the English
you
culture.
might
So
have to before it gets too far away from me.
yeah,
Before it goes too far ahead.
I think there's only
Yeah, it's starting to get a lot of traction online, I've noticed. Definitely after the second season, people have taken notice.
I think there's 8 or 10 episodes in the first season, but they're only half-hour episodes, so you can power through it
Yeah.
super quick.
Yeah. So that might be a good one to pick up from the Olympics. Because I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll be definitely smashing some Sopranos when the Olympics finishes.
Yep. Yeah, middle of the day when you can't do anything else, it's like, oh, well, just put Sopranos on.
100%. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Like normally I'd just YouTube checking up on like the recent uploads for the day is my go-to when I sit on the lounge. But now it's just straight up Sopranos. Just watch as much as I can.
Would Sopranos be your top recommendation for the week?
Oh, um, I'm tossing up. It's a tough one. I'm really tossing up Gossip Girl reboot, eh?
Oh,
It's actually really good. I
okay.
reckon as a neutral fan who doesn't really have anything to do with Gossip Girl and just wants to watch a new show, watch it because it's enjoyable.
Alrighty. For
The
me,
original put completely to the side.
yep. For me, it's Doctor Death. Just such a good show.
Hmm.
Apart from the weird timeline jumping, but if you can wrap your head
Yeah.
around the timeline jumping, it'd be cool. I I would love to see like a website that's like, hey, this is the order to watch the episodes in to get it in timeline order, but I'm not sure if that's possible because I think
Oh,
in mid-episode
is
it
it
can like
that
jump
bad?
back.
Oh, there'd be something out there.
Like I got
Shit.
it. Like it wasn't where to the point where I was lost, but it was just kind of like I wish this had just been straightforward. Show me how it all built up, and then here's the investigation and conclusion.
I still haven't worked out the correct order to watch Star Wars though. Because what do you? I'm still in my little world. Episode 6 is the first one. Is it episode 6? That
No,
was the first one made. Yeah, that was the
episode
first one
3 is the
made.
first one made. No,
Was
episode
it 3?
four,
4
because it's the
or
trilogy in the
6?
middle is the original 3, and then they
Yeah.
went back and did the prequel trilogy, and then they come back and did the sequel trilogy. So if you watch them
Yeah.
in the order that they're numbered, that's the timeline order, but release order is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 7, 8, 9.
Controversial way of going about things, I reckon.
It's an interesting choice, but oh well, they did it.
Just thankful Lord of the Rings got released one by one.
Yeah, they're so long.
Well, they didn't know. They went back and did The Hobbit.
Yep, that's true.
They probably weren't expecting Lord of the Rings to be so popular, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's what happened then. And they're like, oh, well, what else can we do? Oh, the Hobbit's big.
Lord of the Rings is so greatly underappreciated.
I
It's
think
like, if
because
you
it's
know,
so
you know,
long,
but
that
if
puts people off.
people don't want to get into it and
People
sit
don't
down,
want to
and
sit
they're
down and watch
like,
a
they hear
almost 3
they
hour
hear
movie.
absolute nerds talk about it, and they're like, yeah, of course you like it, but it is actually legit. It is so legit. But yeah, it's a hard one to recommend to someone because they're like, I'm not going to sit down for 12 hours and watch it.
Yep. All right.
Oh yeah, I've seen
That's everything for this week. I think we can get back to watching some Olympics.
heaps on today, heaps of gold medals today.
BMX too. I'm
Lots.
keen for that
There
BMX
is
one.
BMX. There is BMX today. Logan Martin surely gets gold.
Yep. So thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services, here on Twitch and over on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at JamieAppsMedia, and you can follow Blake on Twitter at Captain Crumbs. And and you can also follow me on me on social media at JamieAppsMedia and Pario Magazine. We also have Discord, so you can come over and discuss your favorite media there. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Apps Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/Jamie Apps Media. The following people supported at the Community Support Group or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support. Brian and June Hart, Courtney Paulson, Tracy Apps. Sweet, and we're done. Thank you. Hit that one.